Is it just me? But doesn't it seem that the words bully and bullying has become a lot more common lately? As a mother, educator, and the founder of B.U.D.Y Ambassadors, an organization which works with schools to promote empathy, kindness, and compassion to help end bullying, I began to think of ways to empower my son and other children when it came to bullying and their mental health. One thing that we do know is that bullies and bullying are not going away. However, I thought, what if we address the root of the problem and teach children to take a different approach on how they respond to bullies and bullying? What if they responded with kindness, empathy, and love instead of judgment, anger, criticism, and hate? What if they advocated for themselves by setting firm boundaries? Would it make a difference in how the bully responds? Would it help turn the bully into a buddy? I want you for a moment to think of when you made a mistake or bad decision in your life. What did you want and need the most? I know what I wanted. I wanted someone to be there for me, to still see the best in me, and not give up on me. While that's not the same as bullying, I believe that the bully is yearning for the very same thing, and it would make a difference in how they respond, and maybe help them turn from a bully into a buddy. One of the surprising things my team and I learned after speaking and working with a few reformed bullies is that they didn't just bully others who they thought were weaker than them. They also bullied others who they thought were strong and had all of the great qualities they lacked. They said they were simply trying to test others' worth and strength. Most of them said that they often bullied others because of how they were feeling about themselves and what they were going through at the time. It was a cry for help, love, attention, and inclusion. What stood out the most was when they told us that what made them stop intentionally being a bully was when the victims had the courage to stand up to them, or when someone was kind and made them feel seen or heard and like they mattered. How powerful is that? The bully considered changing their behavior when their victims stood up to them. And they made changes when someone was kind and made them feel included and like they mattered. It reminded me of Dr. Martin Luther King's powerful quote, "Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that." It's something I wholeheartedly believe in, that we need to be kind to unkind people, as hard as it may be, because they need it the most. Remember, the bully needs a buddy too. Before I go on more into this, I think it's important for me to distinguish two reoccurring misconceptions, since the term bullying tends to be used very loosely by children lately. We've done hundreds of presentations and questionnaires with students on bullying, and every time we ask this poignant question, what should you do if someone is bullying you? 95% of the time students responded, you should tell the teacher. And we often have to correct them and say, no, this is the second thing you should do. The first thing you need to do is to advocate and stand up for yourself. Set firm boundaries. Ask the person to stop what it is they are doing. This is the only way you don't become a prey. Number two, we often also find ourselves having to explain to children what bullying is not, just as much as we have to explain what bullying is. Here are just a few examples of what bullying is not. Bullying is not, I don't like you, I don't want to play with you, I don't agree with you, I don't want to share with you, I don't want to be your friend. Or if you ask someone for something and they respond with a simple no, that is not bullying. None of the above is bullying. It may not be the most kind, but it's not bullying. It's kids practicing boundaries and their right to choose, and that's okay. We have to respect others' boundaries and choices just as we want others to respect ours. Furthermore, you know what I say to kids when they tell me that someone doesn't like them? I remind them that it's simply a reminder for them to like themselves. Because when you like yourself, it really doesn't matter who doesn't like you. Others may actually respect you more when they know that you're not affected by their opinions of you or them not liking you. This is why we created the B.U.D.Y acronym. A buddy embodies the qualities of a boundary setter, a unique individual, a dynamic leader, a dedicated citizen, and embraces being yourself. Now that you know what bullying is not, let me remind you of what bullying is and why we should embrace the kindness approach. Bullying is a repetitive, hurtful act done by one person or group to another. Buddies, I am here to tell you that when someone is bullying you or being unkind to you, it has nothing to do with you. It's the bully's way of crying out for help, love, and attention. They are in a lot of emotional pain. There's something deeper happening within them that we know nothing about. It's a reflection of their inner turmoil and struggles. Through our research, we learned that oftentimes they too have been victims of bullying, neglect, and other forms of abuse. I do not believe that there are bad boys and girls. I believe that there are boys and girls making bad choices. By being buddy ambassadors, leaders who lead by example with empathy and kindness, I believe we can help create a shift in their behavior and attitude. Future leaders, today I want to remind you to be kind and to treat others the way you would like to be treated. I also want to challenge you to go into fight mode. Now, when I say fight mode, I'm not referring to clenching your fist ready to take someone down. Quite the contrary. I'm challenging you to fight to be the change that you would like to see in the world. Fight to be a better person. Fight to be more proactive rather than reactive. Fight for kindness, empathy, compassion, and inclusion. Fight for love, peace, and togetherness. Fight to help push humanity forward in your own small way. Be a bridge, not a wall. It's what the world needs the most. The eye for an eye mantra for justice, which means whatever you do to me, I can do to you, or even worse, it's not helping. As the old saying goes, an eye for an eye will make the world blind. Future leaders, I know you will agree with me that the world will be better off if we can all see. Most of the schools we work with report high cases of bullying. Teachers complain that a lot of children lack empathy and compassion for one another. Most always seem ready to fight, insult, or humiliate each other, often publicly, at the slightest misunderstanding without truly taking the time to listen to each other. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, 1 in 5 students in the last year complained of bullying. 1 in 5. Buddies, we need to do better. I know what I'm asking of you is not easy. Be kind to a bully? Why? Because as I said earlier, because I believe they need it the most. I also know firsthand the effect that a bully can have on someone's life. I can still hear my heart pounding from fear at the glance of my bullies from afar. They would wait for me by the school gate every single day. Even when I tried to escape, they always seemed to find me. I would either cry or run away when they were being mean and cruel. They would say, "Hey, look, it's long neck ugly, not lovely." Some would stretch their necks out like a giraffe and mimic me. At the time, I was tall and lanky, and some called me Olive Oil from the cartoon Popeye the Sailor Man. Growing up, I didn't have any brand name shoes, clothes, or fancy supplies, and some teased and laughed about that too. I definitely wasn't one of the cool kids. Perhaps a bit quirky and different from my peers, and for some kids, anything that's different is weird and uncool, and you are automatically excluded. Simply put it, I didn't fit in. I didn't know then, that sometimes being excluded and not fitting in is the best thing that can ever happen to us. Because everything they teased me about eventually became my superpower. My signature long neck, tall frame, long head, and quirky personality turned out to be a blessing throughout my life and set me apart. Do you see any other tall, long neck, long head girl or boy on this TEDx stage? I've learned that what others may see as flaws or weird may actually be a blessing in disguise. This is why I encourage children to embrace their flaws and to stay weird. Once I embraced this superpower and learned more about the mindsets of bullies, I realized that every bully I encountered was a test for me to be more of me, to let my light shine, and to be better. We can't control the behaviors of others, but we can control how we respond. Instead of mirroring their bad behavior, let's activate the buddy within us and try to be a mirror of what a good human being should be. One of love, integrity, empathy, kindness, and compassion. I'm not going to pretend to have all the answers to help end bullying, but what I do know is that it requires the collective effort of all of us, parents, teachers, educators, leaders, and community members working together to be the change that we wish to see. You too can become a buddy ambassador by activating the buddy in you. Be a buddy, a boundary setter, a unique individual, a dynamic leader, a dedicated citizen, and be yourself. Future leaders, always remember, while it's nice to be important, it's important to be nice. Activate the buddy in you. Be a buddy. Be kind. Thank you.